Conflicts, poverty and climate change are driving an unprecedented global displacement crisis. Each year, millions of people risk their lives in hopes of a better future. Thousands attempt to reach Europe mainly through the central Mediterranean, Western Mediterranean and Western African routes. The Western Mediterranean route connects North Africa to mainland Spain and the Balearic Islands. As many countries move to curb migration, the Spanish government has approved plans to give 500,000 undocumented migrants legal status. Our correspondent Nicolas Haque reports from the town of Belyounech.
Etched into the horizon, a cliff they call the Dying Woman. Below it, Africa's land border with Europe, a fence built to stop movement between two continents. Countless people have died trying to make it across. On the road leading to the cliff, we spot two people, moving quickly. We stop them. They're undocumented migrants.
We are hiding from the police. We can't stay here. We will get spotted.
Come with us, he says.
So, they say there are thousands of migrants hiding right here on that hill. And the police, the Moroccan authorities are on the other side.
They're from Guinea. They say they have no way back. How old are you, I ask. 17, he says. Why do you want to go to Europe?
I want to finish my studies. My parents can't afford it, so I want to go to Europe to finish school. My dream is to become an electrician. That's my dream. Over there, there is hope. Doors are open for us. Luck is in Europe.
They show where they plan to cross. A border of steel and razor wire, sensors and cameras, guarded on both the Moroccan and Spanish sides.
This is what we use to cross the fence. We hold onto this to climb the barbed wire. We take our shoes off, cut our socks, so we can use our toes.
Have many succeeded like this?
So many have made it across. They are now in France, England, Belgium, and Switzerland.
As we talk, others arrive, exhausted and cold. They failed, but they bring back bread and water. For now, this is their temporary shelter. Walking away from the border, we meet Ernest from Nigeria and Mustafa from Sudan. Injured. They're heading to a hospital, hoping for treatment, hoping they won't be reported.
Yeah, I left my country because I have a war.
Have you tried to make it across to Europe?
Yeah, I have tried 2 times, but I failed. For 2 times I failed.
It's very difficult.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Very, very difficult.
What's the difficulty? What are the challenges?
The security at the border side. They stop us. I think it's fair enough for them. I think they are only doing their job.
For me, I want to cross to go Europe because in Europe they have human rights.
A lot of opportunities.
A lot of opportunity, human rights, anything. Yeah, but here in Africa, we don't have human rights.
He says more Sudanese are taking this route, not by land, not by sea, by air. In December, one man paraglided across his flight, captured on a mobile phone.
Yeah, that is Europe. Our dreams is there.
Europe, close enough to see, still out of reach. Nicolas Haque, Al Jazeera, Belyounech, Morocco.
All right, for more on this, we're joined by Andrew Geddes, a Professor of Migration Studies at the European University Institute and the Director of Migration Policy Centre, joining us from Fiesole in Italy. Andrew, this is a desperate set of circumstances that drive migrants to make these perilous journeys, and I think we understood from that story at the same time they are very understanding that the countries who receive them are not directly responsible for the root causes of the problems in the places they've fled. So what is the solution then?
Well, I don't think there's a simple solution because, as the reporter said, there are very many complex drivers of this migration, and also the people who are making these journeys are exposed to very significant risks along those journeys. What we're seeing, I suppose, if you're saying, well, what solution have European governments preferred to adopt? Well, what they've preferred to do is invest very significantly in border control measures to stop people moving. So that they would see that as part of a solution. But I think also it brings problems with it, because one of the problems we've seen is that the numbers of people making irregular crossings halved between 2020 2023 and 2024 from around 280,000 to 140,000 people who were detected. But what we're also seeing is people going to more dangerous routes. And also beginning of this year, it's been the deadliest beginning of the year on record. More than 600 people have died so far in the Mediterranean.
Andrew, when we look at some of those, when I asked you what the solution was, and you talked about how some governments have moved to prevent the movement, to try and stop the movement. But we see the likes of Pedro Sanchez in Spain a lot more welcoming perhaps than some of his other European compatriots. And we know migrants will move with those shifting political winds. So what is the consequence of that?
Well, this is really one of the key bones of contention in Europe at the moment. Spain has gone out on a limb in a certain sense because what it's done through a very large-scale regularisation is responded to some of the needs it has, the society and economy. So the reality of the situation is that people have moved to Spain. I would also point out that countries like Italy, which are seen as taking a hard line, are also embarking on very large-scale recruitment of migrant workers because of their own economic needs and the demographic changes we see here also in Italy in terms of an ageing population. So Spain is kind of represented as an outlier because of its regularisation, but other countries face similar issues, and even countries that are sometimes seen as being at the fore in advocating hardline restriction are also themselves undertaking quite large-scale recruitment. So Italy, with 1 million migrant workers to be recruited over a 5-year period of this current government.
That becomes a political issue in how governments deal with it. But this is also a societal issue, right? And the rise of populist politics has also seen, quite not unreasonably, a rise in anti-immigration sentiment. The way that these messages are put out about what this means for people who already live in these countries. How does that affect the path that migrants take and then their future prospects?
Well, I think it affects both of those things. As you rightly point out, the path that they take is now increasingly restricted, so migrants may find themselves being forced into more difficult and dangerous journeys. And then also upon arrival, there can be more hostility to them. So it's not to say that all Europeans are hostile to migration and migrants. That's far from the case. But what we have seen, as you observed, is a rise in support for radical far-right anti-immigration political parties who've gone from the margins much more into the mainstream of European politics and now are also governing and influencing policies at the European level. So that is making it more difficult for people who arrive, the reception they receive, and also increased efforts to try and return them to the places, countries that they came from.
Andrew, thank you very much for your time. Andrew Geddes, Professor of Migration Studies, joining us.
Don't miss out and get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.